Well, good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Amanda Rowley. Mark is off tonight. Let's get started. As the opioid crisis looms, the city of Spokane Valley is getting some financial help to deal with it, thanks to being part of multiple opioid settlements. KREM 2's Cody Proctor looked into how much money and for how long this could last.
I'm just outside the Spokane Valley City Hall, where on Tuesday night, the Spokane Valley City Council sat down to talk about what to do with those funds from those opioid settlements. According to the Spokane Regional Health District's opioid dashboard, 190 people died last year from opioid overdose, a number that grew more than 20% from the year before. According to city documents, Spokane Valley could get about $334,000 for the next 15 years to be put towards helping with opioid issues. Some of the items discussed included enhancing the health district's opioid dashboard and expanding the Spokane Regional Crisis Stabilization Center.
So I guess I would prefer to see something going towards the root of the problem and education and prevention so that we can affect future generations. Versus the people that are doing that now.
Now, one thing to note, there is still litigation happening, which could potentially bring more money to Spokane Valley, according to city documents. That amount was not included in the estimated total revenues that were talked about Tuesday night, which means that number could change in the future. In Spokane Valley, Cody Proctor, KREM 2 News.
New tonight, Moscow police found and detained a low-risk inmate who walked away from a work site this afternoon. Waylon Savage was spotted earlier today at the University of Idaho and had the campus on high alert. According to police, Savage was a member of an Idaho Department of Corrections work crew that was cleaning the Theophilus Tower dormitory at U of I when he walked away. It's not known where he was found. Police say they'll release more details later on. Switching gears now to talk weather. We saw a little more haze this morning, but it quickly cleared to reveal some beautiful blue skies. Nicole Hernandez is joining us now with what to expect here in the next day or so. But gosh, it was gorgeous out there, wasn't it?
It was so good. The sun was shining. It was a beautiful afternoon and evening, and it's going to stick that way for the next few days now. But one thing that's changing is our low temperatures are getting colder. And we're seeing that already. We're already at 63 degrees this evening here in Spokane. Across the region, similar temperatures. We're in the 60s in most spots. A couple places still holding on to the 70s like Omak and Othello. But even some places overnight tonight are going to drop below 50 degrees. That's spots like Pullman potentially reaching, Deer Park, Newport below the 50-degree point, which of course is in the 40s. So that's, kind of a big deal, especially considering how warm our overnight lows were just even a few weeks ago. So that 56, it's a good spot to cool down. Open your windows, open up the doors, cool off the house. We're going to continue cooling down until about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. The sun's going to come up and then we're going to quickly start warming back up because tomorrow we do end up with a warmer day than we had today. We do still have some lingering mountain showers that are quickly moving their way out. Earlier today, the entirety of that Canadian border was full of thunderstorms. Now you can see not so much as this low pressure system moves its way east, and it will continue doing that, leaving us nice and clear for the next few days.
All right, thank you, Nicole. Tonight we are hearing from Spokane Public Schools Superintendent as the district considers new rules to limit the use of cell phones on school campuses.
Had an adversary to compete with the attention of kids like we've had with technology. They are so incredibly addictive. They are so incredibly stimulating. Kids can infinitely be engaged on a device in their home or at school. We've never had to compete for the attention of our children like that before.
The proposed restrictions vary by grade level. For example, high school students would be barred from using phones in class, but allowed to use them during lunch and between classes. Elementary and middle school students would be completely banned from using phones during school hours. The restrictions would also include smartwatches. The SPS board is expected to talk about the proposal at tomorrow night's meeting. They will vote on it by August 28th. And now to Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. We learned more today about a 3-year-old girl attacked by a bear in Montana over the weekend. Montana Fish and Wildlife says it evacuated a private campground south of Red Lodge, Montana Sunday night after a black bear attacked a little girl sleeping there in her tent. A family member confirmed with us that she is from Loon Lake, which is in Stevens County. Now, the child was taken to a medical facility in Billings, and her family says she is okay. But right now, we still don't know the extent of her injuries. Staff say they did find garbage, a cooler, and food around and inside the tent where the attack happened. Officials tell us since then, a female bear matching the description of the bear involved in the attack has been killed. There is a GoFundMe set up for the family to help cover doctor visits in the future. Tonight, Spokane police are looking for a suspect caught on camera stealing a tiny home. There it is. This happened yesterday afternoon near Francis Avenue at a gated storage facility. Security video shows someone wearing a hooded sweatshirt cutting through a fence. Then the suspect backs up a truck to the tiny home, hooks it up, and drives off with the house. Police say they damaged the gate in the process. If you have any information about this incident, you are asked to call Crime Check. It's that number there at the bottom of your screen. An Idaho firefighter is still in critical condition tonight after a tree fell on him during a wildfire last weekend. A GoFundMe set up by the family says 26-year-old Justin Riley Shaw is in the ICU at Sacred Heart Medical Center in Spokane. The GoFundMe says Shaw suffered a traumatic brain injury and several broken bones. Our Boise sister station spoke to the Forest Service about the accident.
My message to anybody that's been impacted by situations like this is there's a larger fire family out there that lots of folks aren't aware of. There's a lot of us out there who have experiences like this and can lend our expertise.
You can find the GoFundMe for Shaw's recovery on our website at KREM.com. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head over to our website, KREM.com. Volunteers are hard at work rebuilding a new normal for survivors of the Gray and Oregon Road fires. This Sunday will mark 1 year since those devastating wildfires sparked in Medical Lake and Elk. The Spokane Region Long-Term Recovery Group is helping pull in money and volunteers. They say so far, less than half of displaced families have begun rebuilding.
Probably 20% of them have their certificate of occupancy and have moved back into their houses. I would say 50% of the community has not started rebuilding their lives in a way that is for a long-term purpose. It's still kind of like a big temporary Band-Aid.
The Long-Term Recovery Group is launching a full-scale rebuilding campaign in the next month. And today, Alaska Airlines announced a new investment toward lowering fuel costs and reducing emissions. It's backing Jet Zero, a small California airplane marker with a design that could cut fuel costs in half. The aircraft integrates the wings and fuselage into a single smooth shape, reducing drag. The company is targeting 2030 for commercial rollout. Alaska says the investment includes options for future aircraft orders as the airline strives for net zero carbon emissions by 2040. And new tonight, Boeing appears to be bouncing back after months of sluggish aircraft sales. Boeing says it took in orders for 72 new planes last month. That compares to 59 planes reported by its main competitor, Airbus. Boeing's orders plunged following the Alaska Airlines door plug blowout back in January. For the year, Boeing has received gross orders of 228 commercial jets. That's less than half of the 579 gross orders received by this time last year. Starbucks stock closed up today, hours after shocking investors by announcing it has hired a new CEO. Brian Niccol, who has led the burrito chain Chipotle, will take over as CEO starting in September. The current CEO, who has led the company since March of last year, will leave. Shares of Starbucks stock have been falling amid weaker sales in the U.S. and China. Since then, investigators have been pressuring Starbucks leadership to make changes. During Niccol's tenure at Chipotle, the chain's revenue grew nearly 800%. President Biden and the First Lady Jill Biden traveled to Tulane University in New Orleans today to announce substantial funding being awarded through his Moonshot Cancer Initiative. The first couple first watched a demonstration of cutting-edge technology that would give doctors a way to see tumors in real time, possibly reducing the need for follow-up surgeries. The $150 million grant will be distributed among 8 U.S. research teams that are working on ways to help surgeons successfully remove cancerous tumors.
Folks, it's fair to say one of the most devastating words anyone can hear, and it's not hyperbole, is cancer. We're moving quickly because we know all families touched by cancers are in a race against time.
The President announced in 2022 a goal of cutting U.S. cancer fatalities by 50% over the next 25 years. UW also received $21 million from this funding. And that was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.